Welcome back, entrepreneurs, to Radio Entrepreneurs, as we consistently and constantly stream stories of entrepreneurship, leadership, and how companies and leaders are adapting to this very turbulent and ever-changing economy. Our next guest, first timer from what I know, Liana Epstein, co-founder of Cangrade. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell us first about Cangrade.
Cangrade is a HR tech startup that I started along with Gershon Goran, my co-founder. And what we try to do is disrupt the talent management process. We're not just a one-touch assessment solution for pre-hire. We actually work with our clients all the way through the talent management process. We come from a perspective that soft skills are the most powerful predictors of success in an organization. And that's really what's going to get you the best ROI.
Interesting. Do you have a competitive advantage over anyone else doing what you're doing?
Absolutely. So Cangrade was founded as a data-driven company. It's really important to us in that data-driven perspective that we maintain our bias-free perspective. So we've been dedicated to a focus on DE&I since our founding and since the beginning. We also, like I said, work throughout the talent management lifecycle. So with our one-touch solution, we're actually able to repurpose this data for a variety of different outputs, whether it's retention or promotion or just lateral movements within team throughout that organization's life cycle with any given individual. In general, we're able to assess folks quicker than most of the other assessments on the market, but without sacrificing any accuracy. And it's that efficiency effectiveness trade-off that I think really makes us stand out in a very crowded field of solutions.
Well, now that we're going, some people say, into a great reset of the economy, how do you think you will do in relation to that?
In terms of our particular business or our clients' businesses?
Your particular business.
Oh, well, I think it's becoming more important than ever to make that right hire. I think that companies are going to start to get choosier about who they hire, and they'll need to make sure that they're making smart moves for their business in terms of who they're bringing in. So for us, we haven't seen any slowdown in terms of our customer acquisition, because the nice thing about the business niche that we're in, whether you're an employer that's struggling in this sort of wave of great resignation to just find someone to work for you, or whether you're an employer who suddenly has a lot of choice and needs to find the absolute best person to produce the most money and most return on your investment for your organization, you're always looking for a solution to help you do that efficiently and effectively.
So I've heard and read that you help facilitate collaboration within organizations. Can you sort of go into that for me?
Absolutely. So I think something that a lot of HR teams struggle with, especially as we move to a more remote hybrid model, is how to stay in sync across teams with what their objectives are and what they're trying to achieve with hires, and how to assess people fairly and equitably. And so what our products do is it allows for a level of systemization, even if you're working remotely and you're not physically present in the same location. And all of that, again, is synced with the models that we build for what success looks like in your particular organization. So you get to have all of that team collaborative feel without sacrificing any of the systemization and without needing to be physically present in the same room.
Wow. So what's your background? What has transpired in your life that led you to this?
How did I end up here? I've had a very varied background. So my doctorate is in quantitative social psychology. So I am a recovering academic. It's been over a decade, and I still feel like I'm trying to learn all of the lingo of the industries that I inhabit now. I have worked both in tech and in the nonprofit space. I did social consulting for a while. I think the thing for me that really threads all of my varied career experiences together is that I love using data to create innovative solutions that drive results for organizations, and all the better if there's some sort of a social good attached to it. So I think when I started out with Cangrade, along with Gershon, what really appealed to both of us is the idea that you can sort of be a force for good from within the private sector, that you don't have to necessarily go outside to help organizations who are striving to do the right thing make that happen, and also make them lots of money in the process. This idea that profit has to be antithetical or opposite from doing the right thing or the ethical thing as a business, I think is a really false dichotomy. And I think something we've shown at Cangrade to our clients over and over is that actually committing to a hiring equity platform for your organization can really drive your business model forward.
Do you think a lot of clients you deal with don't understand sort of the benefits or how to use quantitative and qualitative data?
So the clients that we work with, we're fortunate enough to work with a lot of really data-driven companies. And those are always our best clients, the folks that already get it before we sort of walk in the room with a solution. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're young, hip companies. There are some older companies that we work with where, you have some execs pushing the data-driven model, or they're just realizing that this is the future and they're on board. But the folks that aren't committed to this process of becoming data-driven are going to lag behind more and more. And we find we don't work very well with them because, again, that's our core philosophy. That being said, there's some clients we work with who are really committed to becoming data-driven, and they're really just starting on that journey. And I think the nice thing about our solution is that we have different kinds of products we offer to phase people in to that data-driven perspective. So you don't have to be perfect to start out with an AI solution, whether it's us or something else or anything else data-driven you want to do. I think the thing that I would say to organizations who really aren't data-driven as of now is that it's just baby steps to get there, and start somewhere and then build that platform. You really won't regret investing in that.
Now, hopefully I'm not going too far afield. Do you get involved at all with psychographics as well?
No, we don't. We don't. We stick with the psychometrics. So we just do our soft skills assessment. We have one core product.
So how did you meet Gershon?
We actually met. He was looking for someone to help him out with the science of this idea. And he put a little announcement in a listserv for my graduate school, which I never read. I actually had another job that I was about to start in a month at the time. And I just, for some reason, I opened the email that day, and the problem and the messiness and the complicatedness of it really caught my eye, and we started chatting, and I started working on it while I was working full time, and then eventually was able to switch over to doing it full time.
That's great. So you just met online and everything's, how long has that been now?
That has been, oh God, I think it's upwards of 7 years since we started talking about it. And I've been at Cangrade full-time over 5 now. So wow. we are on our feet and growing like a little weed.
I look forward to you becoming a regular interview on Radio Entrepreneurs and hearing how the company progresses over time. We've been speaking with Liana Epstein, co-founder of Cangrade. If someone's looking to learn more about Cangrade, maybe connect with you, how would they find you?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, www.cangrade.com. You can email me directly if you have more questions for me about the science or anything else. It's Liana, like my first name, Liana @cangrade.com. You can also check out our blog. We've got a presence on LinkedIn, on all of the social things. Our wonderful marketing team takes care of that. So we're very easy to find.
Great. And I want to thank all our entrepreneurs who tuned into this show and will be tuning into this show, and we'll have more stories to follow.
Thanks so much for having me, Jeffrey.
You're welcome.